Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you some more news on Mason Greenwood. Then I'm going to give you some news on Erik ten Hag. So, Mason Greenwood has been dropped by Nike after his rape allegation. Mason Greenwood is banned from England and Manchester United, so he can't train or play any matches. Last week, Mason Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. Mason Greenwood has been arrested twice on suspicion of sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. And not so long ago, Manchester United fans burnt their Mason Greenwood shirts. Like I mentioned yesterday, Manchester United players have been backing Mason Greenwood. Manchester United's decision to freeze Mason Greenwood out has angered some players because the way the players see it is that Greenwood is innocent until he pleads guilty. Not so long ago, Mason Greenwood was removed from FIFA 22. It's disgraceful what he's done, and I've got to say his Manchester United career is officially over, and his England career is officially over. Greenwood's only the age of 20. Greenwood joined Manchester United at the age of 6. He made his senior debut for the club back in 2019. Since then, he's gone to make 129 appearances and he's scored over 30 goals. Last season, Greenwood did sign a new 4-year contract at the club. Earlier on this season, Greenwood had COVID for a while. Earlier on this season, Greenwood was upset that Ronaldo always starts. And revert back to 2019, Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave. Now, Manchester United have received a boost as Erik ten Hag is certain to leave Ajax after Mark Overmars' scandal. Erik ten Hag has been tipped to leave Ajax by a well-respected Dutch journalist. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that he wanted Erik ten Hag to become Manchester United's next permanent manager in the summer, and there is Man United fans that want Erik ten Hag to take the Old Trafford job instead of Mauricio Pochettino. I think if Erik ten Hag came to manage in the Premier League, he'd replicate what he's done at Ajax. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. So there you go. His contract at Ajax expires next year. He's been Ajax manager for over 4 years now. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. Ajax is the fourth club Erik ten Hag is managing in his managerial career. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht, before then managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. So that's the news on Erik ten Hag. Mauricio Pochettino has been relentlessly linked with the managerial role at Man United. He said Mauricio Pochettino is Manchester United's number one choice to become the club's next permanent manager. Pochettino has reportedly told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. Reports from France said not so long ago that Pochettino could be sacked by March. Pochettino's job hinges on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League, and not so long ago PSG got knocked out of the French Cup by Nice, and that put more pressure on Pochettino. Don't forget, reports recently said that Man United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettino, because Ronaldo has been targeted by PSG. Pochettino has been PSG manager for over a year now. He's won a French Cup at PSG. His contract at PSG expires next year. PSG are trying to get Zidane to replace Pochettino. Pochettino is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. Before he endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And at one point, he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I think Tottenham made a bad mistake getting rid of him. Before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with them, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far. And before Southampton, he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Man United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Manchester United finished 7th under the Moyes era. I think that's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Despite Mourinho winning 3 trophies in his first season, Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United. And last year, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Solskjaer's final game in charge of Manchester United was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. If you do remember rightly, when Solskjaer officially got sacked, he gave a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer was part of the club for a long time. and Solskjaer adores the club, and Solskjaer is a legend of the club, and he always will be a legend of the club. Well, that's what got mentioned on the statement when he officially got sacked. Manchester United paid off Solskjaer around £7.5 million to sack him. I don't think Manchester United really wanted to sack him, but we had no choice in the end but to sack him, because revert back to the last few months of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure. You know, the performances were really, really bad. And the results were bad to go with the bad performances, but reflecting on that, not all of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer. There was also players that had to take responsibility as well. Solskjaer did not win a trophy when he was United manager, and I did say, didn't I, he was never capable of winning trophies as a manager. You know, Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017, that's 5 years ago, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. Obviously, the clubs he's managed in his managerial career, obviously managed Man United's reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of the team grow and develop. He managed Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. He endured 2 spells at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles and that with them, but they're not a big club, and obviously he managed Man United's senior squad. Reflecting now on he was Man United manager though, Solskjaer did gain some managerial experience and he learnt a few different things on the job. Solskjaer was a great player for Man United. He had a proven pedigree as a player because Solskjaer won a lot of trophies as a player. And his most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final at the Nou Camp back in 1999. You know, Solskjaer won the club the treble, and the treble is the club's greatest achievement. Solskjaer did endure 11 years as a player for Man United. Solskjaer did get appointed in back in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Solskjaer was the interim manager in his first 3 months. He did well as the interim manager, so obviously the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. When Solskjaer was Man United manager, he signed 14 players. Man United spent over £400 million under Solskjaer. And he endured around 5 transfer windows as United manager. On the other side of things, Solskjaer got rid of players when he was United manager. He got rid of players permanently. He also loaned players out. The players he got rid of permanently, Solskjaer released Sergio Romero and Joel Pereira. He got rid of Daniel James last summer. He offloaded players like Ashley Young, Valencia, Smalling, Darmian, Angel Gomez, Fellaini, Herrera, Lukaku. He also offloaded Sanchez. So yeah, they're a lot the players he got rid of permanently. I can't remember all the players that Solskjaer loaned out. In his first full season, he got Manchester United to 3 semi-finals and he got us a 3rd place finish. In his second full season, which was last season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final and the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately he didn't win it. Last season, he got us a 2nd place finish as well. And don't forget, Manchester United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League under Solskjaer. So yes, some progress was made under him. I also like the way Solskjaer developed the youth. Revert back to the start of this season when Solskjaer was United manager. I did say, this season was always going to be massive for him, and I said, Solskjaer did have big expectations to exceed. Quite clearly, the expectations were far too high for Solskjaer to exceed. Revert back to last summer, Man United enjoyed a good transfer window. Man United made 4 signings. 3 of the 4 signings were major signings. And revert back to last summer when Solskjaer was United manager, he received very good backing from the board. So in the end, Solskjaer ran out of excuses. Obviously, we've got Rangnick as our interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did say Rangnick is expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick's been Manchester United's interim manager for 2 months. He's managed 11 games so far in all competitions and he's lost 2 games so far. Like I updated you yesterday, it said Rangnick is facing a fresh dressing room with his Manchester United players. And it said earlier on this season Rangnick was losing the dressing room, and it said that 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. Revert back to a few weeks ago now. It said Manchester United had put their search for a new manager on hold after being impressed by Ralph Rangnick since he took charge in December. And it said Man United were considering offering Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. There's been good performances under Rangnick, there's been poor performances as well. Credit to Rangnick, he has made changes since he's come in, because earlier on this season he recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. And before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick has enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Man United enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window. Last month Manchester United did not make any signings. That was very disappointing. Obviously Man United wanted to sign a midfielder, because when Rangnick first came in he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. We should have let Lingard and Dean Henderson leave last month, but we blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. Manchester United though let around 8 players leave last month. We loaned quite a few players out, didn't we? We saw Martial go out on loan to Sevilla. Amad Diallo went out on loan to Rangers. Donny van de Beek went out on loan to Everton. Tuanzebe went out on loan to Napoli. Tiedemann Mengi went out on loan to Birmingham. Ethan Laird went out on loan. So, there you go. In the summer, I'm expecting Manchester United to make some signings. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So in the summer, I reckon Dean Henderson will leave. I think Jones and Baye will also leave. Tellez could possibly leave. Matic will leave in the summer. If Rangnick doesn't get the job on a permanent basis, Pogba will leave in the summer. If Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo will leave. Well, that's what it mentioned earlier on this season. Jesse Lingard, he'll leave as well in the summer. And Edison Cavani, he'll leave in the summer. And I'm expecting Man United to offload Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka because they're not good enough to represent the club. As you all know, Manchester United play Burnley tomorrow night at Turf Moor. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off. Manchester United are going into the game having recently been knocked out of the FA Cup 4th round by Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough won 8-7 on penalties. Anthony Elanga missed the decisive penalty, and reflecting on that, Anthony Elanga was racially abused on social media. It was 1-1 after extra time. We should have beat Middlesbrough. You know, Rangnick gave his perception on the game, and he said Man United only had themselves to blame getting knocked out of the cup. Because Rangnick pinpointed the chances that Manchester United had against Middlesbrough, especially in that first half. The only chance now Manchester United have got of winning the trophy is the Champions League, and I'm very sceptical we'll win that. So yeah, it's going to be another trophyless season for Man United, unfortunately. I am expecting us to beat Burnley though. Burnley have enjoyed a very poor season. Burnley are bottom of the Premier League at the moment. Burnley recently drew 0-0 against Watford. I do know quite a lot of the players that Burnley have got, like I mentioned on the preview and that. Burnley have got Jay Rodriguez. They've got Ashley Barnes. I think he was out with injury the other week. They've got Match Vidra. He's got hernia at the moment. I think he's out for a few weeks, is Vidra. They've got Wout Weghorst. Burnley signed him last month from Wolfsburg. Burnley paid £12 million for him. Weghorst signed a 3.5-year deal. Weghorst is obviously the replacement for Chris Wood because Burnley lost Chris Wood to Newcastle last month. Burnley also have Aaron Lennon as well. Aaron Lennon is a former Everton, Leeds and Tottenham player. They've got Goodmanson. Goodmanson is out with injury. They've got Josh Brownhill. Josh Brownhill didn't play any part in Burnley's 0-0 draw with Watford because he was suspended. They've also got Jack Cork. Burnley have Connor Roberts. Connor Roberts had COVID earlier on this season. They have Dwight McNeil. They've got Dale Stephens. He had COVID earlier on in this season. Burnley got Dale Stephens from Brighton. They've got Eric Peters and Phil Bardsley. They have Ben Mee, Charlie Taylor. Charlie Taylor's been out with injury. James Tarkowski, he's a good centre-half for Burnley. They've also got Matthew Lawton. The goalkeepers Burnley have got, obviously they've got Wayne Hennessy. They've got Wayne Hennessy from Crystal Palace. They've got Will Norris and Nick Pope. Burnley's manager is Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche has been Burnley's manager for around a decade, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving manager. Burnley appointed Sean Dyche in back in 2012. Sean Dyche has got a contract with Burnley till 2025. Before Burnley, Sean Dyche managed Watford. If Burnley get relegated this season, I'm expecting Burnley to sack Sean Dyche. The last time Manchester United lost at Turf Moor was back in 2009. It was 1-0 to Burnley. The only goal of the game came from Robbie Blake. It was a screamer as well. Manchester United won this fixture at Turf Moor last season 1-0. And Man United beat Burnley 3-1 in the final game of last year at Old Trafford. By the way, Alex Telles or Fred won't be playing any part in this game tomorrow night as they recently tested positive for COVID. Bruno Fernandes recently picked up a knock but should be available for the game. He recently picked up an injury. Sancho picked up a minor injury but should be available for the game. Chong, I think he's got an injury as well. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.